Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Now, we're going to be talking about Yerry Tielemas and Leroy Sane. Could those two be the next Arsenal signings? That would be a huge summer, but could they be the next big signings at Arsenal? Sky Sports confirming that do not be shocked if Arsenal bring in another big one in this transfer market. We'll be discussing that from DEAMANDS, but also the Football Insider have just said that Yerry Tielemas has told his representatives he doesn't want to negotiate with Manchester United, and he's told them to agree a deal with Arsenal very soon. The manager at Leicester City, Brendan Rodgers, has also said there is nothing changed with Yerry Tielemas. The situation is still very much the same. He doesn't want to stay. He's not trying to sign a new contract with Leicester City. We'll talk about Leroy Sane. The price has now been set. It is at £60 million. Should Arsenal go all in for Leroy Sane? It is understood the relationship between Leroy Sane and Mikel Arteta could also be another important factor in bringing him at the Emirates Stadium. The player looked at Mikel Arteta as a key player, as a key person during his time at Manchester City as a coach, and also in his words, the player said everything in his career began to become worse when Mikel Arteta left the club. We're gonna be diving into each and every one of those updates. Hit the like button for me. Let's get this one to 800 likes. I'm really thrilled that a couple of people like actually what we are doing here, and also subscribe to the podcast if you're part of the people who feel this is an Arsenal home to get the best updates around Arsenal. Now, let's start off with that Sky Sports and DEAMANDS. A few people have been telling me, "Cause you never give us updates from Sky Sports." Why? Now, the reason as why I don't give you many updates from Sky is Sky are always behind. Sky, I do not know what is happening with them. As compared to last summer they were very on point. I think that their transfer coverage was very quick. This summer, it looks like they're very behind. I mean, they confirmed deals that have already been confirmed 72 hours, 48 hours after Fabrizio, David Onstein, and the likes of Dean Jones, and after all those journalists confirming the transfers, and then Sky Sports come in late, and their updates really then don't mean any sense. But anyway, this one is from DEAMANDS, Sky Sports, and it says that Mikel Arteta is not yet finished with what he's planning this transfer campaign. He's actually not over. The Premier League squad Mikel is looking at is 100% far away from completion, and there's so many players that will be joining the club very soon. DEAMANDS says that do not be shocked if Arsenal bring in another big one this summer. So the positions he has highlighted are the positions that we have actually looked at in a couple of coverages on the channel. A winger, a central midfielder as well. But what is more interesting here from DEAMANDS, it says that Arsenal are looking to strengthen on the right wing. It doesn't say on the left wing. Now, we understand that Bukayo Saka's assurance and reassurances, of course, mean that he will have that position on the right wing untouched and undisturbed. The question is, are Arsenal looking for a left winger where Gabriel Martinelli is and Emil Smith-Rowe, or are we looking for a right winger? Now, in my own sense, when I think about the caliber of players we're thinking about, I think it is a left winger. If Saka is gonna keep on playing on that right hand side, then there is no reason as why Arsenal would love to sign Rafinha and Leroy Sane again to be to compete with Bukayo Saka. It makes a lot of sense because you want eight players per position. But in my opinion, Sane, Rafinha, Richarlison, all those players, that caliber, that money, I think they're coming in to occupy on the left hand side of the pitch. I think Gabriel Martinelli is the player Mikel Arteta appreciates, but he's not one that he cannot bench. Those are two very different things. I think in the Arsenal side, there are only 2 or 3 players that Mikel Arteta cannot bench, in my opinion. I think that is Thomas Partey, That is Granit Xhaka and Bukayo Saka. The rest of the players are touchable. We saw it with Martin Odegaard last campaign at the beginning of the season. Put him to the bench. We've seen with Gabriel Magalhaes a lot of the time, with Ben White a lot of the time. So I think Bukayo Saka is untouchable. And I don't think Arsenal signing in a right winger at the moment, while we are in contract negotiations with Bukayo Saka, and we're signing someone better than him. That could create some kind of skepticism in the player. So I think it is on the left wing. So I will disagree with Dameches there. But one thing I will agree with them is Nicola Pepe going away from the club means that Arsenal will have to bring in someone to be an understudy to Bukayo Saka. Imagine Saka is 20 and Arsenal want to sign an understudy for him. Absolute sins there, aren't they? So Dameches says a big signing, another marquee signing could be arriving at the Emirates Stadium. Keep your eyes very, very open. Now, according to the Football Insider, Yerry Tielemas has made himself very, very clear to his representatives. He doesn't want to join Manchester United. His preference is Arsenal Football Club, and he has told them and urged them to get the two clubs to agree a deal very, very soon. Now, the Transfer Insider are a very open and very reliable podcast and very, very reliable publication. I trust them 100%. And also the information from David Onstein and Fabrizio Romano that I'm going to share with you in the last couple of hours just justifies what the Football Insider have been talking about. So according to them, Yerry Tielemas is very much alive on the radar of Manchester United. United would love to move quicker than Arsenal and agree a deal. However, Yerry Tielemas has just told his representatives he doesn't want to head over there. He wants to head over to Arsenal Football Club. Now, Fabrizio has been speaking to Bavas 14 on his YouTube channel, and he spoke about Yerry Tielemas and Lucas Paqueta, and he said on the list of central midfielders, he is the man. The name on the list of central midfielders next to go to Arsenal is Yerry Tielemas. According to Fabrizio Romano, he's not been informed of any other priorities in that area. And personally, I will also confirm that I've not read any reports from any reliable sources pointing to any other player as a priority in central midfield, not even Alexander Zinchenko. So one thing I'm gonna say here is Yerry Tielemas wants to play for Arsenal. He has told his representatives to get the two clubs to agree on a deal, which should not be very, very difficult. Now, David Onstein as well. Before we go to David Onstein, Fabrizio Romano has also been speaking about Lucas Paqueta, and he said with Paqueta, you've got to keep your eyes very, very open on the deal. He's one that wants to play in the Premier League, but not very open. And it is not a deal close to joining Arsenal. So in terms of hierarchy, again, Yerry Tielemas up there. Lucas Paqueta, a player appreciated by Arsenal, just like he's appreciated by a couple of other clubs, Newcastle, Tottenham Hotspur, United. I think United should sign Lucas Paqueta because, I mean, fighting for Frankie de Jong for 75 million euros, why not go for Lucas Paqueta? I think he would definitely give you what, a good central midfielder would actually give you. But Ten Hag, it is also important to note that Erik Ten Hag has said he wants a top class central midfielder, and not many of them are available in the market and can do what Erik Ten Hag requires of them. And the two names that we have heard, Ten Hag 100% consistent about is Frankie de Jong from Barcelona and Yerry Tielemas at Leicester City. So you understand there, interest from Man United is there, but the player just turned their back on them. He's 100% thinking about joining Arsenal Football Club. Mikel apparently has told the player about the key role he would have to play in Arsenal's rebuild and also in Arsenal's process at the moment. So Yerry Tielemas 100% locked onto that move to joining Arsenal Football Club. Man United interested. They're not even an option for the player. He has told his representatives to get the deal done very, very soon. Impressive update. I wanted to talk about David Onstein as well, who said that the player will need a departure. So I think it is now understandable that Arsenal are working on a couple of departures to get this deal done and to get it through, but it is not a deal that is of very much alive. Very, very much alive. Now, I also want to talk about Leroy Sane. It looks like Arsenal are more and more now linked with Leroy Sane, especially after Alexander Zinchenko. Like I said, it was very good. It was going to be very, very open. We were always going to know whether Leroy Sane was a realistic target for Arsenal after Alexander Zinchenko signing. So this is what the AFC report have put out. Leroy Sane's deal to Arsenal could happen before the end of the transfer window as the player becomes available for sale. Bayern value him at around £60 million. AFC via the London Highbury, who first reported the news on July 15th, and Ben Jacobs confirmed out interest in the player since then. So difficult one this one for Arsenal, for anyone to try to get it, but now we understand that the player is available on the market. He was offered Real Madrid a couple of days ago, as much as I understand. He was offered Real Madrid, and Madrid said they would try to do a deal if any other clubs were interested. Totally ridiculous in my case. I don't know why they would do that, but it is typical Madrid and it is typical of their transfer business. But anyway, so £60 million, we know the price. He's up for sale. We can't confirm that. Now, he's a player that has worked with Mikel Arteta, and the last two signings Arsenal have done in Alexander Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus have been two players that have worked with Mikel closely at Manchester City. Players that have had a very, very good relationship with Mikel, and players that definitely fit into the caliber and category of talent we are looking for. Leroy Sane, 26 years of age, played for Manchester City under Pep Guardiola with Mikel Arteta, has a great relationship. Actually, when he left Manchester City, that is Mikel Arteta, Leroy Sane said his career started having facing all these kind of storms and problems when Mikel left Manchester City. You understand that kind of bond, you understand that kind of understanding between Leroy Sane and Mikel Arteta. You get it from those sentiments, right? My career started falling off a cliff when Mikel Arteta left us. Because when you hear Leroy Sane speak about Mikel Arteta, he's a manager, he's a coach. He holds in absolute high regard. He's a manager that he loves a lot. He's a manager that I think he understands a lot, because he said, as a forward, Mikel Arteta taught me how to utilize, how to identify, manipulate, and utilize spaces. He used to work with me extra time, even after training sessions. So I won't be very surprised, and I'm not very surprised that Sane is linked with Arsenal. At first, I was skeptical because I did not remember that Mikel worked with Leroy Sane. But now that I can join the dots, I can put the dots on top of the I's, and the crosses in the T's. Makes some sense, doesn't it? It really makes some sense. But I don't want to rush on that one. I want it to develop naturally, just like the Alexander Zinchenko deal has developed. And then we will have more discussions. The medical for Alexander Zinchenko, I will tell you much about that. Is scheduled already, and it should happen anytime now.